With that, I'll do my closing statements as well as for our conclusion for the hearing. You know, a lot of people want to talk about the trajectory shift into the Western Hemisphere as a focus, but it's always been a key focus. The issue is that we've had certain areas which has kind of been a vacuum in the room in the Middle East, which has been a continuous powder keg waiting to explode. But Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea's geopolitical alignment has always been very much focused on the Western Hemisphere. Yes, we understand China's Belt and Road Initiative's initial intent, which was the Eurasian expansion, domination of Africa with 15 of 16 rare earth mineral mines, and also taking over of Oceania. That was to block off Western Hemisphere supply chain through the Horn of Africa, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Black Sea. But what we also noticed was a growing threat, whether that be from the Chavez Maduro regime, the extension into Petro and Colombia, the economic coercion by China and the CCP on Honduras and Panama, so they could once again try and shut off and take control of taxation, tariff, trade, and passage through the canal, which President Trump recognized very early on. But also the growing threat of China growing one of the largest military training bases and spy bases in Cuba, only 90 miles off of my coast in the great state of Florida. We know that Western Hemisphere must be a key focus. We know that the fentanyl opioid trade and the designation of the cartels as a terrorist organization is long overdue. We can see the impact that the State Department, INL, and all of our DEA and law enforcement partners, to include our Border Patrol, has made in trying to stop the illicit trafficking of not just drugs or the illicit money laundering, but the human trafficking of women and children. I want to thank our witnesses for their valuable testimony and the members who had their questions. The members of the subcommittee may have additional questions for the witnesses, and we will ask you to respond these in writing. Pursuant to committee rules, all members may have 5 days to submit statements, questions, and extraneous materials for the record, subject to the length limitations. Without objection, the committee stands adjourned.